What's up, guys? So today I'm going to show you how to prep a manifold. I'm prepping a bunch of these for a big animation that needs to be fixed at Creepy World. It's a ghoul band, it's a VP ghoul band. I went through and assessed everything, and I just went ahead and decided that it was gonna have to all be taken out, all the old controller, solenoids, cylinders, everything. But I wanted to show you guys how to prep one of these manifolds quickly and efficiently, and also just show you how to do it if you've never done it, because a lot of people are afraid when they see the solenoids that aren't wired, but it's super easy to wire them up and everything. So when you get the solenoid or the manifold, this is everything that'll come for this one. I'll link this one. This is a pretty nice manifold. I think it was like a little bit over $100, but they're pretty good. So what you're gonna get is your two exhaust ports and your air in, and also all the fittings, but those will already be on there. Well, at least these ones were whenever we got it. And so let me go over all the tools and stuff you'll need to do this. You don't necessarily need all this stuff. This is just what I found makes it go by quick and easy. So you're gonna need a little Phillips head, micro screwdriver, wire strippers, nippers, ratchet with a 14 millimeter socket on it, some pliers, box cutter. I don't really need that other than they come wrapped up in bubble wrap. That's all I was using it for. Zip ties and a drill with a Phillips head. So what we'll do first is we're going to take these exhaust ports, put them here and here, and take the air inlet and install it there. And then we'll go from there. Alright, so we got those ports put on, nice and tight. You don't want these to slip loose. All these fittings come with Teflon on them already, so they send you a little roll of Teflon tape, but you usually won't need it if all the fittings are Tefloned up. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I can't remember when I was listing things off, but this is 22.2 wire. So once you have those on, what I like to do is, the way they send this, like the fittings are so loosely put in that you can just undo them with your fingers, and that's what I use the ratchet for. This way I can just tighten them down real quick and get it over with. So once I got all these tightened down, we'll go to the next step. Alright, so once you have all these guys tightened down, like I said, everything in here is not completely necessary. Like, you could go through, do that with a wrench. I'm just doing this to make it faster. So now, what we're going to do is, I like to prep these, make sure everything is tight and sealed, just so there's the least amount of failure points. You don't really have to do all this stuff I'm doing, I just do it to make it better. But anyway, on these knobs on the back, which are what's holding the electrical component to the actual solenoid, I'm going to tighten them down. You can tighten them with your fingers, just get them just tight enough to be finger tight, and then we'll go through with the pliers and just tighten them like a half turn. Just make them nice and tight. Alright, so now you're going to do the same thing to these little ports. These unscrew. If you want to take them off running your wires, it's fine, but there's enough space in there for me to get a wire in. So tighten those all down with the pliers, kind of same thing. Maybe like a quarter turn on these, because these will strip out really easily. Okay, so now we're going to get to the part that scares people. So you can do this with your little micro Phillips head, or what I do to make it faster is I got a Phillips head. It doesn't need to be an impact. It's probably sketchier to do it with an impact. But we're going to take these out all the way down and pop these off. I'll just do one just to show you, because it's kind of hard because I'm trying to hold my phone. Lightly pull it out, and pop that port off, and then just put it to the side. You're going to do that to all of them, to where it's all naked, all across the line.
Oh, and don't be worried if when you're taking the housing off, you pop these off. They have these little silicone parts. Just make sure that's back on there flush. Look at the 3 on the back. Just line it up, snap it in. So now, all the tops are popped. So, what you're looking at here, look at my screwdriver. So right here, yeah, your positive and your negative. So you're gonna unscrew these little terminals just like you would on a prop controller. I'm trying to do this with one hand. Hold on. So what you're gonna do is hold on. I'm trying to do this with one hand. It sucks. So you're gonna unscrew that terminal. And you see how it's open like that? And don't want to do that on both sides. There's a ground here too, but you don't really need to worry about it. Someone's probably going to be on my ass for that. But that's your negative, that's your positive. And what I do is I go along and I open all these terminals before I start wiring. So all of these will be opened up so they're ready to take wire. So after I do that, then I'll show you how to wire them.
Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're going to put your positive, that port, negative in that port, screw them down just like you would a prop controller. Okay, so this wire that I put on here is short just for the sake of the video, but this other one I'm working on, all these are getting about 4-foot wires put on them, but you can make it whatever size you need to. Like if you're gonna have this mounted to the control board, they don't need to be like that long. But the solenoids in these VP props go in their chest away from the controller, so I have to be able to run these back behind the scene into a controller. So now that you have this wired in, it's good. You're gonna take your port, or your housing, and you're gonna slide this, have it like this, through there, through that hole. Now when you get these, they're gonna come with the housing and where the wire goes in facing the fittings. You can leave them like that if you want to. I just like doing this better because it's easier to get to them to manually hit them if you need to test them. But anyway, that little piece right there, put that bolt and that piece like that, put it on, and you're gonna get your screwdriver back, your drill, your impact, or whatever, just ever so slightly, barely pull the trigger until you feel it slow down, because you will, if you fully drill this thing will snap. And I mean, it's not the end of the world as it does, it just won't have housing anymore. So now what you're going to want to do is, this is obviously the first solenoid on the manifold. Let me get a power supply, I'll show you how to test the manifold. Okay, so now to test it, whatever power supply you're using to power your controller, we're using BooBox Flex. You can just hook it straight into the Flex to test it that way with like a Scaremaster or something, but this is easier. So what you're gonna do is, one second. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your red wire inside the power supply, and you're gonna touch the ground to the outside silver part, and that's how you'll test it. I'll put this right here just so you can hear it. Hold on. And just like that, it's firing, you're good to go. There's a little red light in there too. Let me see if I can I'm trying to do this with one hand. Fuck. Sorry. I only have 2 hands, but yeah, as you can see, when it triggers, your light will turn, you'll hear it clicking. That's how you know you wired it right. So then, what you're gonna do is once you know that port's good to go, you do all of them same way. So with this, if you're doing it on a flex, you don't know how flex works. You're going to put your positive wire in the positive terminal, and then output 1 will get your negative, output 2 will get your negative of the second solenoid, and so on and so forth. So then, they're solid state relays, so when you hit the button, you don't need jumpers or anything like you would on a peekaboo. But if you're interested in looking at that kind of stuff or figuring out how to get a controller to work with this wiring, just go on Fried Ideas or any of the other controller companies' videos, and you can figure that stuff out. But so here, I'm gonna put this off to the side. You can, go from there. You're good. Like, that thing's ready to run. You're probably watching this video if you already know how a solenoid valve works. Air comes out of one side, air comes out of this side. Solenoid triggering is what's letting it know to stop letting air out of here and to let air go through the other side. Basically what it is. I mean, I don't know why you'd be watching this video if you didn't know how these worked, but if you didn't, that's how they work. So I will show you what a completed one looks like and kind of some of the extra steps I take to make it easier. So this is a finished one. Obviously there's a lot more wire on it, like I said. These are longer, but I go through number 1 through 8 on the solenoid valves, so I know which one I'm looking at, wire them in, and at the end of the tape where the wire ends, I put a little piece of electrical or painter's tape on there and then number it, so whenever I follow it back, I'll know which output I'm going to be hitting. But like I said, if you're just have this like straight on a control board, you don't really need that, because you can just with your bare eye kind of see it. But when you're running long wire, it's kind of can get confusing. But anyway, that's how we wire them up. And then you would obviously just put air to your inlet, run your air hose to your cylinder or whatever you're trying to run with it. And if you're wanting to put speed controls on these, I ordered some of the inline flow control valves. So they're just 1/4 inch push to connect to 1/4 inch push connect one way, and they have a little speed dial on them. But that's all up to you. You can leave them like this, whatever your prop calls for. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you guys pick something up. I hope you guys aren't scared to use these anymore. If you have any questions about anything, just leave it in the comments and let me know. But anyway, have a good day or night. Peace out, guys.